Hello, this lecture presented by www.free-academy.com. We're going to be covering Problem 3 of Chapter 3, Section 5, Anton Calculus 7th edition, or the dreadful chain rule, which really isn't that bad once you get the hang of it. It's always a concept I've had difficulty explaining to others, but it's easy enough to do once you know it. And like all these lectures, I am going to have the chain rule written right up in this corner here. So we will be referencing this formula throughout the lecture. Now, for starters here, we've been giving f of x equals x squared and g of x equals 2x minus. And we're going to want to take the f of x and the g of x, and we're going to want to combine them into f of g of x and g of f of x, and then find their respective derivatives. Now, I'm not going to do problem A to completion and then go and do problem B. What I'm going to do is the f of g of x and the g of f of x first, because getting the hang of combining these different functions is pivotal to really understanding the chain rule. So we'll start off with a f of g of x. So f of g of x and g of x equals 2x to the negative 3, so this equals f to the 2x minus 3. So all I did was substitute the value for g of x into the formula that we have here. Now f of x equals x squared, and keep in mind, like I said this several times before, that's just really the placeholder. F of x equals something squared. And if you decide to put 4 in for x, it equals 4 squared. If you decide to put 2y in for x, it equals 2y, all of that squared. And if you decide to put 2x minus 3 in for x, f of 2x minus 3 equals 2x minus 3 squared. So that is how you combine those two particular functions. Now we'll go on and we'll do the same thing for part B. We're going to find g of f of x. So instead of, I'll write out here the f of x, what I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to put in the value for f of x, which is x squared. So it'll be g of x squared. So now we'll write out the equation for g of x, which is 2 parentheses minus 3. And wherever the parentheses is here, we put in the value of our function there. So g of x equals 2x squared minus 3. And if this part was difficult, you need to go back and check out some of our earlier lectures on this, because this is something you have to be very comfortable with to do the chain rule. So now that we have problems A and problems B, we found the functions that we're going to be taking the derivatives of. Let's find the derivative in part A, which is the derivative of 2x minus 3 squared. And this is where we're going to want to reference our chain rule. So first of all, we need to find f prime. Then we'll need to know g prime. And then we already know g, so that's good. Saves us some trouble there. The derivative of f prime is, of course, the derivative of f of x, which equals 2x. The derivative of g prime is the derivative of 2x minus 3, which equals 2. And g of x is 2x minus 3. So having these three elements here, and having our formula for the chain rule, we're going to simply plug them in to f prime of g of x times g prime of x. So we'll make our first substitution. We'll substitute g of x into f prime. So this is f prime of 2x minus 3. And then we'll multiply by our g prime of x, which is equal to 2. So let me write the 2 in front here, and that will multiply our f prime, which is 2, times our placeholder, which we place the 2x minus 3. So now we multiply everything through, and we will have our derivative. 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8x. 2 times 2 times 3 equals 12, minus 12. So the derivative of f of g of x for problem A is equal to 8x minus 12. We'll do the exact same process to find the answer to problem B here. We have our f prime, we have our g prime, and we have our g of x, and we also have our f of x. So for this problem, because we're flipping the order, we're doing g and f, just change this in the equation here. And I'll rewrite it really quick. We'll need g prime of f of x times f prime of x. G prime, replacing our f of x, x squared, times the derivative of f of x, which is 2x. Now we will write the formula for our g prime here, which is just simply 2. Notice that. G prime is 2, so we could have put anything in here, and we would have gotten 2 times 2x, which equals 4x. And this is just a consequence of this particular situation. You can't always say that if you have f prime of g of x, it equals something, but if you have the g prime of f of x, it is always going to equal a constant. It's just the particulars of this situation. G prime of x always equals 2. It doesn't matter what we put in for x here, it always equals 2. So we substituted this value, we multiplied it by our 2x, and we got our answer. So stay tuned for some more lectures where we keep hammering the chain rule to get you guys really solid and really familiar with this topic. Thanks, and have a nice day.